Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors to all our brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on nine firefighters that got hospitalized after responding to a fire. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says, Mayday, Mayday, audio shows call for help at fire that hospitalized 9 firefighters. It says 9 firefighters were injured while battling a house fire in McKinney on Saturday night, according to the McKinney Fire Department. The McKinney Fire Department said crews were dispatched at approximately 9:11 p.m. Saturday to a reported structure fire in the 7400 block of Joshua Tree Trail. The caller reported a fire in the primary bedroom. When firefighters arrived at the home, which belongs to former McKinney mayoral candidate Taylor Willingham, Truck 11 reported thick smoke showing from the 2-story residence and initiated an aggressive interior attack, McKinney Fire said. Additional crews, Med 11 and Truck 3, assisted with fire suppression and primary search operations. The department said its firefighters encountered heavy smoke and extreme heat conditions on the second floor of the home. So while inside, one of the Truck 11 firefighters became disoriented and low on air, and a mayday was transmitted. So you almost don't believe it, McKinney Chief Paul Dow told WFAA Sunday. I think everyone had to look to somebody else that was by their side and ask, did that actually go out? A coordinated rescue effort by fellow firefighters ensued, and they successfully removed the firefighter from the burning home. So they did exactly what we have trained them to do, Dow said. The fire quickly spread to the attic, forcing crews to transition to exterior fire operations. McKinney Fire said several neighboring fire departments assisted by covering fire stations, while MFD resources remained engaged at the scene, according to McKinney Fire. Video shared with WFAA showed firefighters battling the fire as flames burst from the top of the home. McKinney Fire said a total of 9 firefighters were transported to local hospitals with injuries ranging from smoke inhalation to overexertion. All 9 firefighters were treated and released from the hospital Sunday morning. Said they're resting and recovering right now, Dow said. He said he talked to some of the most seriously injured firefighters on Sunday to check in. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Yeah. So this in its own right is a sign of the times. These fires are becoming a lot more intense. In this particular case, 9 firefighters were injured in different ways. And times are just going to get more scary, or they're going to get scarier, as the Lord increases the intensity of these judgments. Hebrews 10:31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And that's right. Because even though those firefighters are doing their job, it's a very dangerous job. The smoke inhalation, the overexertion, they can get severe burns. They can get low on air. It's a very strenuous, intense job. And when things go wrong, it can turn very terrifying for them. And this is the power of the Lord, though, because the Lord puts them in those situations. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And in this particular case, 9 firefighters got wounded or injured, to varying degrees. And like I said, these type of situations are gonna keep happening. These fires are just gonna keep happening. They're gonna be more intense, more destructive, in some cases even deadly. Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. When you look up the definition of perilous, it means full of danger or risk. And clearly we are in that time. Fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes, volcano eruptions, wars, lots more shootings and stabbings going on. The perils, the danger, the risk is increasing in this world. But the scriptures tell us that those who fear the Lord will not be visited by evil. Proverbs 19:23. The fear of the Lord Yahweh tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. And that's right. So those of us of the hopeful elect, we have to keep that in mind. We have to keep in mind, continue to fear the Lord, trust in the Lord, stay prayed up, rehearse the righteous acts, follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. Just continue to do things that according to the scriptures are righteous in the eyes of the Lord, in hopes that the Lord does not visit us with evil. The Lord is going to chastise us from time to time to keep us on the right path, but he's not going to flat out visit us with evil so long as we continue to move righteously. There's a lot of people out here who don't fear the Lord, who are out here being wicked, who are out here provoking the Heavenly Father unto wrath. And those are the people that will be visited with evil and sore strokes and spirits of vengeance and many great miseries. Because that's the balance. The Lord protects those who are moving righteously, and he brings heavy judgments upon those who are doing wickedly. And even though these firefighters are merely doing their job, some of them are wicked, and them getting caught up in a fire would be the Lord's judgment being brought upon them. Here it is, they're just in their mind, they're just getting sent in to do a job that they always do, fight fires, that's their job. But then something goes wrong, they get severely burned or even killed. That would be the Lord's judgment upon them. He sent them in there so they could be judged. That's why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, because you just never know. You never know what the Lord is thinking. You never know if he's, leading you to your destruction. That's why you're supposed to fear the Lord. A lot of people don't. And you can see that in the way that they move. You can see that in the things that they say, the things that they do. You can tell who fears the Lord and who doesn't. And those who don't fear the Lord are going to suffer. So those of us of the hopeful elect, we got to stay circumspect. We got to continue to watch, because the Lord is going to steady turn up these judgments and make them more intense and destructive and deadly. And that is a sign of the times, a sign that we are getting further and further into these last days. Which should make those of us of the hopeful elect want to lock in even more in this faith. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash, the Wadi Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great milestone. Honors to our brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time. Shalom.